Hi, I'm Ramírez and I'm going to talk about high finances. My goal or objective is to summarize this topic and make you comprehensible and understand it easily. First of all, I'm going to talk about the compound interest. The compound interest is a major application on the actuarial or mathematics topics. As we know, there are annuities which goes up to a contingent on inflations, and the contingent inflations go to the financial markets. Doctoral notation. We'll assume that the interest rate is a constant in a certain formula to get actuarial notation. And there must be a cash flow, and there will be also a time period. So there must be a cash flow one cash flow per period. So there are going to be level payments. These level payments are going to be term annuities. So you can understand it better, I put this image about the formula or the equation to getting the actual notation. The R is the interest rates. Clearing it and solving it, we have that it is equal to 1 minus B at the end divided into the interest rate. Now, the leases and bonds. What are the leases and bonds? A lease is a type of loan that is made to finance the purchase of an equipment. Then, these leases are usually made on level payments. Usually made on level payments or other type of payments. This payment is going to be called the residual value. Now, the life annuities. The life annuity is an annuity that increases or derives the percentage of during the life of an individual. How does this? And this works easily because you have to buy an annuity to government, and using logic, you're gonna get more payments from this annuity if you continue living. You're dead. You live, you'll get payment. You die, you'll get no more payments, and you can share this annuity. This is completely personal. That's why there won't be more annuities, because there's a constant, and every constant is like per period, like the compound interest. And as you can see in the image, it's about increasing of the payments or even decreasing as you can see it. The mismanagement. The funds invest the member or employer's contribution for paying the benefits, the way that they had a retirement or even they die. Now, using the asset classes, I'm going to talk about the equities. The equities represent ownership interest in companies. They are also called as residual claimants. The equities are held in form of shares of a company. There is another one against tax payments. Now, the fixed interest. The fixed interest works or is used for paying fixed cash flows or fixed tax. This can be seen as some interest coupons for being able to pay these cash flows. And of course, there's appointed managers to ensure the debt holders to receive this payment. Everything must be in order, and there is always a check of these cash flows. The inflation index. There are some securities that are inflation indexed. Those is made as a fixed percentage of the index principal amount. It is very commonly used by the government to make the percentage of the principal amounts. When the government uses them, it's like a capital inflation index. And the cash, it's as easy as it sounds. The cash is a short-term investment that can be found in bond bills, promissory notes, treasury notes, or even face value. The properties. It is something more. Those are fixed properties in form of buildings or shopping centers, schools, hospitals, something like that, where there are institutional investors. and if there are institutional investors, there must be investment purposes, which go off to leases and tenants, which get the inflation. These properties provide a return on the cash flow and investment of the growing cash. Now, the derivatives. The derivatives are securities that derive their cash value or cash flows from other securities, like a spinning method. And of course, in each derivative, there are a lot of options, futures, and swaps. These three are the process for making the derivative. The derivative works with a leverage process. What's the leverage process? It involves in borrowing your cash in order to increase the exposure to an asset class to a level higher than your own capital. Now, the asset allocation. The fund uses the asset allocation to allocate our funds derived from the contributions to put them on different asset classes. The asset allocation, it can use percentages or maybe charts or graphics. Now, the strategic asset allocation is the same as the other asset allocation, but it is used by insurance companies, which uses liabilities and group assets. It's basically the same, but it's more specific. The bonus managers, they manage the asset allocation. They're gonna check the asset classes and manage with the percentage to maximize the return on subject or topic. Now, the specialist managers are the same as the other managers. The difference between them is that the specialist managers monitor the performance of the assets allocations, and these vet the asset classes. They specialize in only one. They do not check the others. Upon they finish one, they can go to another, but they only work with one of them. Now, indexed funds. There is an increasing use of index funds for each of all the asset classes. These indexed funds help the specialist managers to manage the cash flows and work better and easily. Finally, I'm going to tell my conclusions about this topic about high finances in actuarial notation. Using this basic actuarial notation that the book provides us, we have a better comprehension of this topic because, as we know, and maybe if you didn't understand me very well, this is a very complicated topic because it uses a lot of formulas and equations to explain how the high finance apply to solve problems and how many people work to solve a problem. And even the government or common people can apply them, but of course it's a very complicated method. Now, we have charts and we have actuarial notations. And the high finances, life annuities, and investments are easily to understand thanks to all these basic notation. So, once we had a basic notation, it is better to understand every topic because each day it's going to search another problem, we need another solving method, and thanks to the mathematics, the hyphens, the actuarial notation, we're gonna get even all other subjects are gonna collaborate to take a solution to these problems. So in conclusion, the high finances help to provide solutions to a lot of problems and life annuities and investments, but as we can see, it's not as easy as it looks, as making a console and taking this is going to solve the problem. We use methods and a lot of equations, so you have to think a lot for making it. As you can see here on my references, the book I used to base on my topic about high finances is from Australia and is called Principles of Actuarial Science from South Melbourne. Of course, there is a page I use for extra information, but basically mostly of the information is about the book. Of course, here's my information in case you have any doubts about the topic. You need more info, you want to talk about this topic, everything you need. Here's all my information. So thank you very much, and I hope you enjoyed.